That was weird. I woke up this morning at 3 a.m. and had to do this. So I just hope it has the desired effect.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Good stuff.
You know what I find disturbing?
It's that
We don't have any calendars that tell you when Pentecost is.
June
They
4th.
tell you when Easter is.
Yeah.
They tell you when Arbor Day is, but they don't have Pentecost on there.
None of them.
Right.
No.
I agree. None
I
of them
think
do.
we should all write letters to calendar makers and say, we want to see Pentecost added to it.
Mhm.
There you go. I actually had to look it up today to remember, make sure it was this coming weekend.
I had to sit and count.
Mhm.
Yeah.
See, when was Easter? Okay. Well, then it's going to be June 4th. Okay.
Yep. 7 weeks and a day.
Yep. That's terrible that they don't put that on the calendar.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, it's like I've always said, if we were to celebrate correctly, the first one, the big holiday, would be Pentecost, with a very close second of Easter or Resurrection Day,
Passover.
Passover, Resurrection Day, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
Then Thanksgiving.
Then Thanksgiving. And the last one would be Christmas, maybe even behind July the 4th and Memorial Day.
And Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Well, since that's kind of that's a pagan holiday too. Let's face it.
Thanksgiving?
No, St. Valentine's Day.
Oh, very much so.
That came out of Roman paganism. So, but that was really strange. I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning and had to do this teaching. Wrote it up. I knew I had to write up a teaching for tonight just in case nobody else had one ready to go.
Yeah.
And since I had sent out an email earlier and said, anybody want to teach? And nobody responded yes, I thought, well, I guess it's up to me then.
I have to tell you, Don, I got a chuckle from you. I've been kind of punchy about my emails and getting the link for tonight. So I got a link for it a couple days ago, and then I got another one today, and I thought, Don's making absolutely sure I don't miss it. I thought it was cute.
Yes, well, I wanted to be sure. You all got it.
It was appreciated.
And if it got lost the first time, you would certainly get it the second time.
Well, with Hotmail, you never know.
Mhm.
Yeah, well,
I have to sit and look through all of my junk mail. Oh, Don Chamberlain, that should have gone in my inbox,
yeah.
because it
It's
all
unfortunate.
there.
It's unfortunate we have to do that, but we have to do that because I know sometimes Hotmail ends up in my junk mail. The same with Yahoo. What their algorithm is that decides which ones to put in from those two places is I don't know, but
It doesn't work well.
it doesn't work real well. And then what I always do is check off, this is not junk mail. Please send to my inbox.
Well, I told you, I've put your name in 4 different times. 4 different times. And everything you send me still goes to junk mail.
Amazing.
Pitiful. Infuriating.
Yeah, it is really.
Mhm. And yet, stuff like getting a free oil change, or getting my tires rotated, or getting some type of health thing that I don't want to hear about, goes right into my
Inbox.
inbox, from people I have no idea who they are.
Yeah,
Nor
that's,
did I want to hear from them.
yeah, they could be, it seems to me they could make a simple algorithm that anybody who's listed on your, in your contacts just immediately goes into your inbox.
Wouldn't that be logical? And
That
if
would,
it's not on the list, it goes in the junk box.
right,
Doesn't work that way.
yeah. Unfortunately for me, with all that I'm doing with the ministry, I have to have my email very open so that everything gets
All that
delivered.
crap.
I
Good.
delete most of it because it's junk mail.
Most of it I don't even look at.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can tell who, what's a ministry related email and what isn't a ministry. If I get something from Franco or John Touchstone, those I can pretty well tell are going to be ministry related somehow. Or maybe just telling me a joke,
Hmm.
which I love. I love to get good jokes in email.
Mhm.
I posted one I thought was really cute on Facebook today. It was a thing about Forrest Gump dying and going to heaven and meeting Peter at the gates. And he had to come questions that would allow him to go in. And I thought it was really cute. And so I posted it.
Yeah.
So if you want to chuckle, go find it.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen that one. That's pretty cute. I've got this great, wonderful app on my computer. It's, one of those things like Alexis or Dot. The particular one I have is Contera. And I can ask her to tell me a joke, and she'll tell it to me. And they're awful, those awful jokes I've been posting. That's what it is.
Where they come from?
That's where they come from. I particularly love the one, a ham sandwich walks into a bar and the bartender looks at him and says, "You have to leave. We don't serve food here."
We lost Sydney. See what you jokes do, Don?
Yeah, drive people away. Usually it's by singing. That drives people away.
Well, I have to admit, I've never heard that.
Yes, I sing like fingernails going across the blackboard.
Oh, can't be that bad.
Oh, you want to bet? My daughter
Don's
talks about
fault,
her.
is it that bad?
My daughter talks about how her ears bleed when I sing.
Oh, Don, shame on you. I asked Don Culp if it was really that bad because I figure in all the years you've known each other, he would know. You notice he didn't say a word.
Well, I don't know if I ever stood right next to him and sang. I mean, it may have happened 2 years. And
Yeah, I'm sure.
it might have happened once at least. We could have been sitting next to each other or something during a meeting. And see, our second year in, the guy who was the LIM leader really loved to make us sing.
Mm-hmm.
He really loved us singing. And usually when there was a big sing-along going on, he was the one leading it at internationals. He was really good at directing music. So
And what time period was this?
this was 1970. Well, this would have been 76 to 77.
Yeah.
August of 76 to August of 77.
Mm-hmm.
Although he stayed there even after I left. It was interesting. Remember, Chris, I think I told you I was in line we were in Lima, and our branch leader was Ralph Graham.
Mhm.
So he had Joe Fair and Paul Coloco come along one night, and there were all these people who came up from International, and of course Reverend Milne came up from LIM headquarters to teach, and he spotted me in the parking lot, and he said, "I see you're still in the parking lot, huh? Can't get out of that place."
He's always parking cars.
Yeah, parking cars, pulling weeds from the parking lot, getting told we're going to get 10,000 pounds of pea stones. Oh, okay, good. It covered about an eighth of the total parking lot. Good old days. I was young and healthy, and
Well, if it was like me, you were young and healthy and stupid.
yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
Yep, yep, yep.
That was back in the days when I knew how to raise people's kids better than they do. Of course, I had none of my own.
Funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm sure the DeGroos and loved that
I
reaction
love
when
your
they got
haircut,
that.
Don.
He's all cleaned up for the holiday.
Yeah,
It looks nice. It does.
it does. Yeah. I was beginning to look grungy, so
Yeah, I know. Christine said, Don.
Don, it's time.
she had
It's
suggesting she had been suggesting getting it done. And I said, fine, let's go. And finally, last week we did. Got it cut. It had been the first time you may remember my look from last year where I had practically no hair at all. And this past week when I got my hair cut was the first time I had gotten it cut since then.
You hippie.
Yeah. Really, I mean, the hair was down to shoulder length.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was getting really long.
Well, be thankful you can grow it, period.
Yeah. Well, like somebody once said, if you got it, flaunt it.
Yeah.
Did Christine get her haircut too?
No, she's going to have our daughter trim her hair. She likes the way my daughter does it.
Mm-hmm.
She puts her hair in a ponytail and goes,
Done.
No, that's scary.
Yeah, sure it is.
Although I have to admit, there have been times that I have gone to a hairdresser and I've told her to cut my hair, and she's done it exactly the way I wanted it to be done. And I've gotten home and I've looked at it in the mirror and I've cried. And I thought, what have I done? So, you know, there's no logic with women in hair.
yeah, there's a lot of times no logic with anyone.
Yeah.
If you want to know the truth, I am probably the least logical person in the world.
Well, that can't be.
Well, logic is human knowledge. I'm not real good with human knowledge and human wisdom. Give me the word, I'm okay at that.
That's why I say you can't be the worst.
Yeah.
With human knowledge. I got that one.
Yep. That cracking you just heard was my cough drop, which I take before I begin one of these fellowships so I won't be coughing constantly. I don't know what it is. Whenever we start these up, I start coughing instantly. Don't know why, it just happens.
Well, we have to start praying for Don and his coughing.
Yeah.
Or lack thereof.
And I should be coughing. I smoked for 40 years,
Mhm.
so I still have that smoker's hack.
When did you quit?
2006 in August, or July, I had a pulmonary embolism, and I was in the hospital for a month, so I couldn't smoke.
Mhm.
So it was a great way to quit. And
That was the hardest thing I ever did.
I'm not saying it was easy. It just I didn't have a choice. So
I had a choice.
yeah,
Well, not really.
when
I had gotten to the point to where I could not say a complete sentence without coughing.
Oh,
Mm.
wow.
And when I got that bad, I said that's it.
Mhm.
Well, I was a 4-pack a day,
Whew.
which is incredibly bad.
yeah, well, I was going at a pack and a half a day almost at the end, and that was when they suddenly made cigarettes ridiculously expensive
Mm.
here in New York.
Yeah, that can
So,
get pretty pricey after a while.
Oh, they're
oh yeah,
outrageous.
right now they're running around $15 a pack.
How much?
$15 a pack.
Are you serious?
Box.
New York's
How
got
much?
$15. New York is one of
Holy
the highest price, one of the highest cigarette taxes in the country.
Ouch.
That's how they get
How much?
taxes out of
How much is a case? How much does a carton cost?
a carton would run you about $150 or $140, something like that.
I'd be quitting yesterday.
Yeah,
Heard that.
I mean,
Wow.
I had the advantage of being in the hospital, so I had to quit. My brother, who is a heavy smoker too, he had to quit with using the patches and the gum and all that.
Mm-hmm.
He managed to do it, but I mean, it was getting crazy.
Mm-hmm. The patches are probably cheaper than the cigarettes.
Yeah. I mean, the tax was higher. You're right. The tax was higher than the cost of the cigarettes.
I mean the patch.
Oh, the patch.
People become addicted to the patch.
Yeah. Well, he weaned himself off the patch, and then he'd quit smoking. And we were both such heavy smokers. I think a lot of people were very impressed when we quit.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do the patches or anything. I just went cold turkey.
Yeah, I tried doing that many times, and it just never seemed to work out for me.
I came pretty close to alienating a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
seeing as how my temperament was so lovely.
Yeah, I remember I went and applied for a job at this. I was into retail. That's what I did for work, was retail, and I applied for a job as a dairy frozen manager for this chain. It's down in the south mostly, and I went down to Raleigh, North Carolina. And while cigarettes were going for about $9 a pack here,
Hmm.
they were $2 a pack down there.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, because they didn't have the cigarette taxes that New York has.
Ouch.
That's how New York, that's how New York gets the poor to pay taxes. They don't want to say they tax the poor, but they put on all these cigarette taxes, and it's mostly poor people who are smoking now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they tax the poor.
Mm-hmm.
Our great compassionate government.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then they say, well, we're gonna do this wonderful thing, or this, they're gonna make a new agency, government, or something that's gonna help people do whatever, and we're gonna pay for that with the cigarette tax.
Right.
And then people quit smoking, and now they have to raise your other taxes to keep this new form of government in business.
Yeah. It,
Catch
it
22.
it's really something. When they had all these cigarette taxes go crazy, people actually quit smoking, which is what they said they wanted.
Mhm.
Guess what the government did? They
Mhm.
called in the cigarette companies and said, "What are you going to do about this?"
That sounds about right.
Mhm.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
And the cigarette company said,
Yeah, basically that's what they said. They said you wanted them to quit, and they're quitting in droves, and you're losing your tax base. Live with
not
it.
our problem. You fix it.
Yeah, you fix it. We didn't cause the problem. You did. So you fix it. So then they started raising taxes on all the other guilty little pleasures like alcohol and gasoline and
Oh, we had the highest gas prices there for a while in the lower 48.
mm,
Connecticut had higher gas prices than even California.
wow, it's hard to
We
do
were
that.
the highest the only ones higher than us were Alaska and Hawaii.
Something.
And somebody on the news one night said, the reason that our prices are so high is because we can afford it here.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
car didn't mean.
Yeah, excuse me for living here.
Mhm.
I can't afford it.
Yeah. Well, maybe the reason is they have a higher minimum. I know Hawaii's almost a socialist state,
Mm-hmm.
and but they had, they have a very high minimum wage, probably. And that's what gets me. People don't seem to understand this, that companies aren't in business to pay people. They're in business to make a profit.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And they hire people to help them do that.
Right.
As a reward, they pay them for helping them.
Right. And some jobs take a great deal of skill and you have to pay for that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Some jobs don't.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't receive as high a pay scale. So the government goes and makes laws that, like here in New York, at fast food restaurants, minimum wage is $15 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
had once they implemented that, they had a whole bunch of McDonald's go out of business.
Yeah.
No doubt. A
Are
hamburger.
they surprised by that?
And the ones that didn't go out of business cut everybody to minimum possible amount of hours, because it's hard to make $15 on a hamburger.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
People tend to object to when you walk in and order a Big Mac and it's $20.
Yeah. That would irritate a lot of people, including me.
Me too.
Suddenly time to go vegan.
Yeah. Wow. We finished early tonight, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. That's okay.
Yeah. It's a holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's one thing I did want to mention, that today is a day where we honor those who gave their lives for this country.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's a good thing to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Your
Along
freedom
with
isn't free.
I once did I used to do a political newsletter, and I wrote one thing called Summer, and it was about Memorial Day and how it's turned into the start of summer, not a day where we remember those who gave their lives for this country so that we could sit here and do this tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's walking in and, you know, hauling us away and making us disappear. At least not yet.
Yep. And thanking those who served and are still around.
Yeah.
Receive our thanks,
They deserve our honor and respect.
our undying gratitude.
Amen. I've got a couple of friends who served, and my three brother-in-laws all served.
Mm-hmm.
I was just too young.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I hit 18, the draft ended. And I had been raised, and my dad was in the Air Force. So I didn't want to go through that anymore. I'd lived with it for my whole childhood and been moved all over I mean, I became very flexible. I could live any place. I had no roots either. Like Christine lived in the same house her entire life until she moved out and went, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what that's like. By the time I was 8 years old, I had been in 4 different locations.
Really?
Yeah.
That's got to be hard growing up that way.
It is. Because first off, the townies, they don't want to become friends with you because they know you're just going to disappear. You know, you're not going to be here 2 years from now. Or 6 years or 8 years down the road. So they would tend to, the military kids all hung out together and the townies all hung out together. Unfortunate, but true. The street I lived on in Falmouth, I lived in Falmouth for a long time, almost 6 years. And I was born in Pasadena, Texas. Then we moved to Newton, Massachusetts, which is where my grandparents live. Then we moved, when my dad came back from Saudi Arabia, because he was in Saudi Arabia at the time, he got assigned to Otis Air Force Base, which is on Cape Cod. So we moved down to Sagamore, or Sandwich, I don't remember which it is. And then we moved to Falmouth, East Falmouth, and we were there for like 6 years. And then he got transferred to Colorado Springs. So we moved there for 2 years, and then we went back to Massachusetts. And then we had to move in Massachusetts because there was just no work in that area anymore. You know, if you were military, there was plenty of work. If you weren't military, there was no work. So my dad found a job up in this little burg called Framingham, Massachusetts, and we moved up there. And that's where I was from there until I went out WOW. Been an interesting life. Made me adaptable, nothing else.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't much different joining the industry, right? You're going to Texas this year. The next 2 years, you're being in Columbus, Ohio. Then you're going to go to Lima, Ohio. Then you're going to go to Sheffield, Ohio. Then we went to Brooklyn, New York, and we've been there ever since. So anything you guys want to talk about, or do you want to just close it out early tonight?
I think I'm done.
Chris, got anything?
No, I think closing it up would be a good thing.
Okay. All right. So everybody, it's been wonderful having you here. We'll see you next week. And I don't know who's going to be teaching. I don't know what's going to be going on. But unless the Lord returns, we'll be here next week. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.